Yo, yo, yo. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the #1 sports and cultural podcast in the world. Hashtag SNN, hitting you with the most current world trending topics, giving you the most accurate sports reporting and analysts in the world. Let's go, fellas. Talk your shit.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up, man?
We're back at it. High school edition. We got a special guest in the building today.
Got two special guests in the building today.
Well, we got one special guest and then another. It's like the big brother, big drunk brother that always comes.
He's making his debut, man. Making his SNN debut.
BC's been on the SNN show before, the beginning ones. But we got my man Chris Ed. And then we got, the head football coach at Executive, Larry Ford. Welcome, Coach.
Yep, welcome.
So real quick, we just, just give us a little background about you. Where you're from, what brought you to the Valley, and go from there.
Yeah. So I'm from South Carolina. Played college ball at West Virginia University. JUCO out in Coffeyville, Kansas, before I got to West Virginia. Came to the Valley here. I've been here since 2014, I believe. Played some arena football in the area with the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks.
Okay.
Played arena ball a couple other places and things like that. But yeah, been at Executive for 8 years now, and 4 years now going up for football. So that's pretty much the rundown.
That's dope, man. So you had a nice little journey, man. JUCO, big school then after. A lot of these kids, me and Tone talked in previous episodes, these are some of the steps that kids don't realize you got to take. Everybody thinks they're just going to go D1 and that's it. And as we were talking off camera, about the grades, right? Grades is big, man.
Yeah, it is. That was a struggle for me in high school. That's why I had to take the JUCO route. So I can relate to the situation and relate to the kids when it comes to that. I tell them my story all the time. I messed around, doing stupid stuff in high school. My GPA wasn't where it needed to be, so I had to go JUCO. It worked out. Got a lot of, D1 attention when I got out there. Won top ranked DNs in the country when I got there as well. So It all worked out for the best. And then once I got to West Virginia, I was locked in. When it comes to academics, we had our academic, tutors and, mentors and things like that. Got the academic honor roll twice while I was there. So that was like a big achievement for me because I never did that in high school. So I tell them my story all the time, man. And I'm always grades first. I don't care nothing about football or sports or anything like that because if you don't got the grades, you can't play anyway.
You can't. You got to be eligible, right? Yep. You got to stay on my field. I hear that.
Like that JUCO experience. So, like, how was that? How did that help you? You know what I mean?
So the area wasn't that good. Coffeyville is a pretty small area, but it's a big time JUCO. We played against a lot of top junior colleges. One being Blinn College out in Texas, where Cam Newton went actually. So I actually missed him. He came after me when I graduated from Coffeyville. But the experience was good, man. Met a lot of people. Our whole defensive line out in Coffeyville, except for one, was from South Carolina. And that's where I'm from. So that kind of helped out a little bit because, we clicked up and, I had two or three of my boys out there with me and, we looked out for each other and stuff like that. So that was fun. And then all three of us went Division I. So that was also fun. One of them went to Florida, the other one went to Oklahoma State. So that was always fun, man. But other than that, the area just, a little small area, but it worked out, man. And, I obviously went from that to one of the top party schools in West Virginia. So it's definitely a big change for sure. Yeah.
Now, did that help you, because you said your grades are kind of struggling coming out of high school. You think that was, that really benefited you? Going to the JUCO instead of boom, if you would have went to a big time college right away?
Oh, for sure. So I actually signed D2 out of high school. I signed at Newberry College out of high school. And when I played an all-star game, Coffeyville actually came to the all-star game, and the coach spoke to me after the game. And I went to Newberry for the summer. I didn't like it at all. I obviously had the red shirt, so I was like, yeah, no, I don't think that's the right fit for me. So I called up Coffeyville. They were like, yo, come on, we still want you, come on down. I got down there, like I said, locked in with the academics. I actually graduated a semester early, which helped me a lot, at West Virginia, because I got there in the spring, which is always good, not the fall. So that helped me out a lot because, I went out there, did what I had to do, got my GPA up, and then, transferred to West Virginia. So
That's fair. That's dope.
Now, one thing, too, what's the differences between football down there, and up here? Even, even before you get to high school.
Down where?
South Carolina.
Yeah, okay. Here, I can compare probably like my experience in high school compared to the high school here. Yeah.
Right.
Different era.
Yeah.
Obviously, just thinking back when I played, man, it was just a whole different mindset. Like, always try to go out in the field, dominate, instill that into my teammates and things like that too as well, being, captain and stuff like that on the team. But the era is different now, man. We got to coach a little bit harder. Obviously, we got to push these kids because a lot of them don't know how to be pushed the way, we used to be pushed back in the day.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I show them clips. I still have VCR tapes of, when I played in high school, and I record some clips and I send it to the guys, and I'm like, yo, this is how you guys, should be playing football. I try to run the program at executive like I played at West Virginia. Try to run it like a D1 program. That's just how it is. We lift like a D1 program. We practice like a D1 program. And if I don't like it, you going home. It's just that simple. So I try to, instill that hard work and that grind in these guys, man, because that's just how I was built and how I was, raised and growing up. My parents stayed on top of me. My dad, most importantly, was, always at the games. Mom, too, always at the games, yelling and screaming in the stands, telling me what I was doing right, telling me what I was doing wrong. But just having that motivation and that push turned me into a different player when I was in high school. You're not stopping me. That's just how my mindset was. So if we can get these kids to play like that and to think like that, man, I think it'll be a lot better football up in this area for sure.
Yeah, I think our biggest challenge is a lot of these kids don't know how to, what's the word I want to use? They're just have a big problem being held accountable.
Correct.
And then they think, oh, coach is picking on me.
Yeah.
Oh, coach is always riding me. But it's just like, we know you can do better.
Correct.
And I'm just holding you accountable because this is going to make you a better man later on in life.
Yep.
Yeah.
I preach that all the time, man. Preach it all the time. Some listen, some don't. So
yeah. That's what we were in high school. Me and Tone played high school ball together. And our coach, who I coach for now, Coach Monsman, he, accountability is number one.
That's it.
He didn't want to hear no excuses.
Yeah, can't be any excuses, man.
To this day.
Yeah, it's all we preach that at the school too as well when it comes to ownership and things like that. Man, take ownership for what you're doing out there on the field. Take ownership for your classroom, work and things like that. But always hold the kids accountable, no matter what. I'm not gonna be afraid to run you and discipline you if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. So that's how I roll, man. I run a tight ship and a strict program, and the kids love it. They respect me. They respect all other coaches and things like that. So I think that's one of the big reasons why we've been so successful in the past 3 years is that we're trying to get these kids bought in. You know what I mean? Bringing that intensity to the program and bringing that intensity in the weight room and things like that, and the kids buy into it. So if they see their coaches doing that, then I even lift with my guys. I lift with the players. I don't mess around. Yeah. So I showed them how it's done. Follow my lead, and you'll be successful. Period.
Right. So. Now, what brought you up there? How did you find out, about PA and locally? Yeah.
So I actually knew some people, his family. In PA, I used to come back and forth before I actually became a resident here. I was coming back and forth. Like I said, I played with the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks. So when I was here with them, I met a lot of people, a lot of family. Actually, Mike Clark, he was the owner of the Steelhawks, got close with his family and things like that too. So I was just like, man, I met a lot of people down here, a lot of good people, took care of me that, helped me out in a lot of ways. So then I was like, I might as well just make PA home. I played 4 years for those guys with the Steelhawks and, some of the best experience of my life down here for sure. So that was kind of like the reason why I stayed, because everybody asked me why I ain't going back to South Carolina. But, one day I'll probably head back down south. But for right now, PA's home. So, I love it here. I love the people here, man. And, love coaching here, love working here, love the kids. That's my motivation for staying here for sure. Is just the kids, man. I do a lot for communities. I do a lot for kids. So, that's my drive. That's my motivation for being down here.
So being, executive, being a new program, right?
Yeah.
How's that been, starting a new program? I know you were having issues getting games at first and people not taking you serious. Then you go win district title, right? And that, I know for sure, probably gave you some, a boost in your morale in the program. But how's it been, getting that up and going?
It started off rough. I didn't know what they even expect of it. Like the first thing that they said was, we're just going to give you footballs and you just go. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. It is what it is.
Easier said than done, right?
Correct. Yeah, we got to go out there and do backyard stuff for a year or two. Then, so be it. It is what it is. We were practicing right on the side of school and little patchy grass, area, man. And we take pride in that, actually, because we're like, we won districts on this little field, so we didn't really care too much about it. But we don't have a lot of equipment that these other schools have. The bigger schools. We're getting it now, obviously, with a lot of support from fundraisers and the community and stuff like that. So we finally got a sled. We got field goal posts over there now on the side, and kicking nets and all that other stuff, footballs. So we're getting there, but it started off very rough. It felt good the first year to win the Eastern Conference Championship. That was always nice. And then the second year, just winning districts. We went through a lot that year. I personally even went through a lot of stuff that year. We went to districts, and that was kind of like a weight off my shoulder to do that. I always said it was God sent, because I needed it that year because there was a lot of stuff going on. But district championship, and then, the kids believing after that helped us out a lot. We made it to the quarterfinals. I felt like we should have beat Trinity that year and ended up in the semis, hopefully, playing against Southern Columbia. But and then the last year kind of derailed us a little bit when we lost our quarterback, first drive of the season. So, in the past, we had 2-3 quarterbacks we can throw out there. If something happens to one, we could plug another one in. But last year, we didn't have that backup QB. So once that happened, with Cruz, it kind of like devastated us a little bit. And the morale and everything with the team kind of like went down, because we had high expectations, obviously, and win districts again. Right. And then, make a run in the state championship. You could name all the players we had last year: Damon Young, Deshaun Shaw, Jonas Robles, all those guys, Darius Rivera. So we had a pretty good team, but like I said, once that happened with Cruz, that kind of like, ended our morale a little bit. But
that's tough, man. Losing your starting quarterback.
For sure. Yeah.
It's not an easy task to overcome.
Correct. Especially one like Chris Cruz. So it kind of hurt a little bit, because like I said, he was our one leader, the kids look up to, they respected him. And, he did all he could to try to, keep these guys locked in whenever he got his injury and whatnot. But it just, like I said, it's just tough. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
You could say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, if your leader and your captain ain't out there with you, that's a totally different situation. You know what I mean? So, but this year, we're looking to bounce back, man. We got a lot of pieces back, Silas Styles, Kaz, Jaden Perez. So we got a lot of good players back this year. So we're looking to bounce back and, see what happens in year 4.
So how's the coaching staff looking this year?
We're getting there. So we brought back 4 coaches from last season. Coach Powell, Coach Kosha, Coach Ron, and Coach Hussett. And then we made the new addition with Larry from Lincoln Leadership. He's going to come on board and help support us. And then the final
Fat
piece.
Stats in the building.
Fat Stats. He's an affiliate of our podcast.
I got you. And then we're at another piece that we didn't announce yet, and I'm not going to announce it here today. But
I know that piece.
Yeah, we have another piece coming, so we'll see how that goes, and then we just take it from there.
That's a good piece, though, that you're adding.
For sure.
I know him, and
Yeah.
it's going to be dope, man. That's awesome.
Man. Yeah, the OC position has been a very struggle for us past couple of years, just trying to keep people in here, not a lot of experience with the OC.
And that's what I was just about to say. This person that you're bringing in has experience.
Correct.
Right? And it's a lot of experience.
Correct.
That's going to show on the field play, for sure. Play calling.
Correct.
You're not going to get that fresh OC that really never been tested, and they're calling plays just off of nervousness and not working. So
and obviously no knock on none of the guys that we had. I think they all were good OCs. They're young in the game. You know what I mean? They never had that experience when it comes to varsity football. And I was all for giving everybody chances. I got the chance to be the head coach, and I never was a varsity head coach before executive. So. So yeah, man, they did what they had to do, man, and I appreciate every single one of those guys. But now year 4, new direction, and we're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah. So that's your motto there? Make them believe.
Yeah. So they started this actually last year for all the athletic programs. I definitely harped on that our the district championship year, and that it actually embedded into their brains that, we got to go out there and prove people wrong. Everybody talks about executive and talk, a lot of these teams in the area don't really want to play us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully, we're trying to get that, relationship. Now I'm going into year 4. I have a really good relationship with Alan.
Yeah.
Last year we did a 7-on-7 with those guys for the first time. So that
there for that.
Yeah, man, that kind of set the Valley on fire right there, because we had a lot of people come to that. And we're doing it again this year. I don't know, I can't remember the date exactly off the top of my head, but we're just trying to get a lot of these local teams, just to, make things so much better for the Lehigh Valley, man. I just think it's so much fun and just a better, atmosphere and a better situation for these kids, because they know kids from all different schools, and it's fun to compete and play against them and all that stuff. So, one of these days, hopefully we can start building that relationship with some of these teams around the Valley and want to play against us, whether it's scrimmages, 7-on-7s.
So now why is that? Are you guys having problem with the local high schools?
So you can say it probably started year 1 and year 2. The one thing about it is that people always think, correct. They either feel threatened or they think that we're recruiting.
Right.
And, we obviously don't use that word. And
that's the biggest misconception with any program that's not a public school.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks that, we recruit and do all that stuff, but kids want to come to executive. Kids come on tours, man. They see the facilities. We just built a whole field house outside the school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when kids see stuff like that, man, and you came from, some of these schools, in the area that either, aren't winning or, just don't have that type of luxury, it's kind of hard to stay to some of these, schools like that when you don't have a winning culture and you're losing and things like that. And coaches aren't bought in, or you got coaches leaving year after year. Yeah. So when we set that, that boundary and that stability, because that's a big thing, is kids want to see coaches stay. Kids want to see kids go to college and all this other stuff. When you could do all that, that makes it a big deal. Like, it's not all about recruiting. It's just, we're putting on a show. Yeah. You know what I mean? That we're putting on a show for everybody.
And that's good for any kid, is the stability, right? Whether you're in elementary school, middle school, high school, the stability is the most key in your development as a child and as an athlete as well.
Correct. And it helps, like I said, you got coaches who, we had one of our coaches was with the Philadelphia Eagles, Coach Shea, he's the offensive line coach. A couple of the guys play college ball. Powell played at Wilkes. I was at West Virginia. So that kind of helps too. A lot of these coaches in the Lehigh Valley didn't even go to college. A lot of these guys in the Lehigh Valley probably didn't even play high school football.
Right.
Yeah. So when you get that, man, and then you top it with the school and in general and stuff like that, it just makes it, like I said, it's make it tough for kids not want to be a part of that, and the culture and, the foundation of what we got going on over there. But yeah, everybody always be on that, recruiting tip and stuff like that. And we always shut that down. Like we don't got time to hear all that stuff. Like kids want to come, they come. If they don't, they don't. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So do you have an opportunity to play like the local high schools, or is that like
because the EPC you can't be you have to be a 4A or higher to be in the EPC.
Correct.
So with them being a 2A school, it's tough for them to get games. But have you thought about like joining like the Colonial League or something like that?
So it's been talked about in the past for us to join leagues, but it hasn't really gone anywhere. So we're just independent. So we can play anybody. We can play whoever we want to play. It's just that nobody's trying to play us. We're not going to go out there obviously and think we're hot shit and go try to play Nazareth and Parkland and all those guys. But like if we get some teams that we know we can compete with in the Lehigh Valley, we're definitely
trying to get in there.
To get in there. Yeah. So we've tried that a couple of times. I've reached out to a couple of coaches in Lehigh Valley just to try to get them on the schedule. Things like that. And like I said, now we got Allen 2 years back to back for 7-on-7. So that's a start.
Have you ever thought about joining like being in the Whitehall 7-on-7 scrimmage or the Sauderton one?
So a lot of those guys, I know a lot of that stuff is invite only. So we don't get invited to that stuff either, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
But then you have some of these coaches talking shit like, oh, they're only 2A ball, but then play them.
Yeah, been playing
them.
Right. Yeah, so we get invited to Lehighton every year. I have a really good relationship with the coach out there, so he invites us no matter what. We go out there and we'll do their 7-on-7.
Lehighton used to be in our league at one point when we were in high school. They were in it was the Mountain Valley Conference at that point.
Yeah. I have a really good connection with that head coach, and he doesn't hesitate to invite us out. So that's the one high school 7-on-7 that we get invited to every year and we participate in. And then, like I said, now we play Allen sometime at the end of June or July, one of the two. So that's a start. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, I'm not going to go out here and beg these coaches to play us or, to invite us to certain things. Actually, we got invited to Penn Argyl the past couple years too. So they've been looking out for us and then bringing us up there for their 7-on-7s. But other than that, nobody really invites us, but we don't really care. We'll play
being
whatever.
Good thing or a bad thing?
So it's a good and a bad thing because one, we can make our own schedule, but two, it's hard if you don't get the games. So it's like, again, we're reaching out to all these teams and we got to make sure that all the dates align and all these guys are already in conferences, so that's automatic 6 or 7 games right there that they already have on the schedule. So we got to catch them at the right time. But the majority of the teams we play are a lot of the Philly pub schools up in Philly, which their schedules usually be like all over the place, and they don't really have a lot of teams in that conference. So we usually get a lot of those teams like Bristol and Belmont, and last year we played Vox and Samuel Fells. So we usually get a lot of teams like that, but then you got to drive that hour and a half and, to go down there and play those teams. But at the end of the day, it's whatever. I don't care where we got to drive to. As long as we get the game, I don't really care, where we got to drive to. It can't be, long as it's not 3 hours.
Now you had a freshman team.
Yes. So yeah, we decided to do freshman this year. Last year we tried JV for like 3-4 games. Didn't end too well. But it was all obviously just experience for players who wasn't playing in the varsity games. So we just wanted to do that. We played against Notre Dame, and then we played against 2 or 3 other teams. I think Pottsville was one of them, just to get some guys some reps that they wasn't getting in the varsity games. But now we're just going to go to the freshman route because we got a lot of kids at that school that can play freshman, and there's some really good ones.
I remember when we spoke originally about getting a freshman game going. When I was the freshman coach at Liberty. I remember that.
Yeah. So we couldn't do it then, but now the numbers are getting where it needs to be. Like I said, we're getting kids bought in. We're getting kids who just want to come out and try it and just play football now because they see what we got going on, at the school. And I'm talking about in-school kids, that we already have there.
You have,
So I did a, freshman meeting just to see who was all interested, and we had like 60 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was from 6th to 8th grade. Now, obviously, there'll be, seventh, eighth grade, and then they'll be moving up to ninth and eighth and seventh and things like that. So we have a lot of kids and we have a lot of talent in that group. I always say I think our freshman team might could run with our varsity team with some of them kids we got out of our freshmen.
I know basketball wise, that school's been doing good.
Yes. Yep. Six district titles now in a row for basketball. So yeah, they're doing very well, man. I built a really good relationship with a lot of those players too. Trying to get some of them to play football, but that don't work out too good. But everybody think they just basketball players and they just want to play one sport these days. But back in the day, we used to play them all.
Yeah.
There ain't no not playing at any season. You know what I mean? So. We're definitely trying to get that instilled into the school too, because obviously we're not a big school, so we're trying to get a lot of these kids to double sport or triple sport. I know one young lady we have at the school plays four sports. So that's where we're trying to get, because we don't really have the bodies. We don't have 60, 70 players like Central Catholic and Parkland and all these guys. So the more kids we can get the double roster and things like that, the better. That's why we do well with affiliating with wrestling and basketball and all that stuff, just to try to get some of these kids out and just try another sport.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Scheduling wise with freshmen and varsity.
Say it again.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
For football with varsity and freshmen, how would that work? Like you had the same varsity would play the same teams as freshmen playing?
So probably not, being that we already have the varsity schedule pretty much solidified. We're just looking for one more game for the varsity schedule, but it's probably going to be on a reach out to whoever is available basis. So we'll see, obviously, if any of the teams that we play have availability for the freshman team. But if they don't, then we're just going to reach out to whoever we need to reach out to just to schedule games. That's just how it's
and not
go.
for nothing, the Nike Clinic and Sands, right? There's a lot of coaches from different programs.
Correct.
And when I know this one that we just left, coaches were looking for games.
Yep.
And they're like asking for our head coach because they want to. Roman Catholic was looking for a game against Parkland, but our schedule's already locked.
Yep.
So, but that's another one to, network and see teams want to play you.
Correct.
That are not in the Valley.
Yep.
I mean, even with the freshmen, I coach at Freedom. I think they said we'll have some open dates.
That's good.
So I'll reach out.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I'll play y'all.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care who it is, to be honest with you. If we can compete, we can compete. And I think that freshman program will be able to compete with a lot of people. No matter what. With 2A, 3A, 4A, whatever, like those guys, we got some talent down there, and it starts there, man. Yeah. We got to get those kids locked in and get them bought in, because they're the future. I always tell them straight up. That's when they're in the weight room with us, we get and I usually I don't really allow the younger guys to come in there with the varsity, but I started letting them come in there this year with the varsity players, and we'd have like 20, 25 young bucks in there with us, just grinding. And my announcement to them was always, "You're the future." I don't really, I don't got to sit on and watch the varsity guys. I know what they're gonna do. I'm watching you guys because I want to see what you guys put in.
You're setting the expectation now with the way the varsity's going.
Correct.
Now these younger groups are gonna say, okay, and that gives them a little boost in their morale as well.
Correct.
They're in the room with the big boys.
Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. And we get a couple of them that'll be like, because they have a separate workout obviously than the varsity, so we'll get a couple of them. Can we do the varsity workout? And we're like, nah, you ain't there yet.
Before you walk.
Yeah, you ain't there yet, man. But some of them definitely could do varsity workouts, but the majority of them ain't there yet. But a lot of the kids, man, they haven't even played football before, so we definitely got to get that instilled in their brains to be locked in on that aspect. But we do have a lot of kids on that freshman level that's going to be pretty good in the future. So
you're going to have a separate staff for the freshmen?
Correct.
Okay.
So I already have Coach Aaron King. You guys probably know who that is. He's the head coach for freshmen.
Okay.
And then we hired a guy to help support him on the staff as well. And then I'm looking to hire one more freshman position. And we'll just, see how that goes. But other than that, so we're going to have 3 paid freshman coaches. We got 7 paid varsity coaches. And the freshmen will obviously help out with the varsity, games and things like that. But, so still got one position open. on the freshman level. So yeah.
So being being the new program and stuff like that, and we know the facility is a struggle for you, right? But and being a smaller school as well. But besides those two things, what's your biggest challenge at executive? Or would those be the biggest challenge that you have?
Yeah, those are, because like I said, we're building and we're getting things in the right direction. In a couple years, we're supposed to be building a nice little football stadium on the side of the school there. Nice. And I overheard a little birdie say that it might even be a dome covering it. So that's going to be fun. But right now, like I said, we play at a college. We were at Muhlenberg, and then this year we did Muhlenberg and Lafayette. Other than that, probably trying to get a little bit more equipment, to help support the players' growth and their potential. And then the schedule. I think the schedule is probably our, hardest thing every year, is just trying to get a schedule to put together.
Real quick, back to the dome part, right? If that does happen, you're going to have a lot of people trying to be your friend.
I know.
And just don't answer that door. Be like, nah, you wasn't answering my door when I was knocking. Don't come over here knocking now.
I already know. So, yeah, when that does, eventually, hopefully happens, that'll be nice for the school. That'll be nice for the kids, man, to be able to, play in something like that of that,
Yeah, that nature in high school is pretty dope.
Correct. So, and, especially going from not even having a field, like all these other schools do in Lehigh Valley. Like I said, we're practicing on the field that we were practicing on the side of the school, where it started off, with some grass, and then after a while that thing died down, and we're playing on rocks and dirt. You know what I mean? So that didn't discourage us, though. Like I said, we always said we won a district title on that thing, man. So we kind of like took pride in it, and was like, man, we're gonna play on anything. We don't care. We'll go play in the concrete. Our first year until the field got ready, we were literally in the back parking lot on the concrete, man. So because we really didn't have anywhere to go before they even built the Founders Hall gym and the field house and things like that. We were literally outside in the concrete. So it is what it is, man. Like I said, we started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Now we're here. Yeah.
So
now I know when Larry went for his interview, he was real impressed, with the culture of the school, because it's it's ran by minorities, you know what I mean? A lot of inner city kids,
and
a lot of minority kids and stuff like that. And he says it looks like y'all embrace that. You know what I mean? You want that, you encourage it, you invite it. So, talk about that, like the culture about that.
Yeah, so obviously, you guys know the school is predominantly Hispanic. You have every now and then you see, the black kids or the white kids are walking around the school, but it is that way, and I love it to be that way, to be honest with you, because like I said, when it comes to relate, I can relate to those kids, because I've been in their shoes. I grew up like a lot of these kids grew up, so when you're able to relate to them, they respect you. Yeah. And when you're giving them that story and they're looking you in your eye and you telling them, that real life stuff.
And if they're, oh shit, Coach been through this.
Correct.
Like, he knows.
It kind of opens their eyes a little bit. Like, he real. Like, he keeps it real with us. He don't just beat around the bush and he lying to us. Like, he actually want what's best for us.
Right.
So that's kind of like the culture.
And the kids see that.
Correct.
They see right through that shit.
Correct. They know if you're being fake or if you're being real with them. And, I always tell them, I ain't gonna lie to you. That ain't gonna ever happen with me. I told them, I'm one of the realest people you're ever gonna meet. I said, I'll tell you to your face how it's going to be, and that's just how it is. And they know that, and they respect that, like I said. So that's the kind of culture that we have, because I work with middle school. So I'm 6th through 8th grade. I have 354 kids that I work with every day on a daily basis, and then about 25 to 30 staff members as well. So, I try to embed that. I'm the team leader, so, I have a lot of staff under me, and I could deal with the kids like that too. But I also have a couple other guys there with me that help support and deal with the kids and stuff like that, and they can relate too, because they're just like me, two black men, to help and relate to these kids and tell them how it really is. You know what I mean? Yeah. We ain't here to scare y'all up and all this other stuff. We're here to just keep it real with you, because we want to see what's best for you, man. Like,
that's a big thing too, like. there's a lot of these, people that are teachers and they're out football coaches, and they want to instill fear in these kids.
Correct.
And these kids are not going for that.
No.
They're going to look right past you. Like,
Correct. And I think that was kind of, I don't know if people, I know some people probably felt that way about me, just from my presence and how I carry myself. So I'm loud. Everybody knows that already. I coach loud and I coach with passion.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. Like it's all about passion. It's not about trying to scare kids and trying to strike fear in them. I know I'm 6'4", 240 pounds. I don't got to walk around and act like I'm the tough guy. I know these kids are all pretty much to my ankles, you know what I mean? So ain't no need to try to scare somebody that you already know who's probably scared of you in the first place.
You're not being extra.
Correct. There's no need to do all that. Like I said, because when they respect you, there's no need for it. You know what I mean? So that type of stuff I don't really worry about, man, because they know I come from a place, man, where I care nothing about you, your grades. I'll give them the shirt off my back.
Genuine.
Feed you if I need to feed you. Whatever I got to do for you, I'll do for you. And I do that for a lot of the kids at that school, man, especially the ones like on my football team. I take care of those guys all the time, just trying to do what I can do for them because I know their parents are working. Some of these parents are struggling, man. A lot of these kids, I hear so many different stories, working at the school, just, kids not eating and, kids be hearing gunshots late at night, just because they live in Center City, Allentown. We just got to show them that we really care about them. And that's what we do at Executive. We care about the kids, man, and that's just how it's going to be. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
You're looking at me. Nah, I just wanted to, because it's like I see, especially Allentown, they embrace that. You got Barbosa there, who is a local guy. You know what I'm saying?
Legend.
Right. You know what I mean? And the kids see that. Hey,
Correct.
These guys, they dress like us, they act like us,
Correct.
they listen to the same music.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And these guys don't got to be out on the streets or nothing like that. He's a football coach. A guy played at West Virginia. Barbosa played in the pros. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's just,
it helps, man.
I see Executive, Allen, they embrace, like some schools embrace that, And I feel like some high schools and some programs out here are losing kids because they're
they don't
not
have that culture.
embracing that.
Correct.
They're not really, they're stuck in their ways. They're stuck in, I know you hate PA football, over there. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, man, is like, especially in the coaching position, because I believe somebody asked me the other day what the hardest thing for me was or is as a high school head football coach. And I don't really ever say none of it's really hard, you know what I mean? Because I do it for a living. I want to do it. I want to be there. I want to be there for the kids. I want to do whatever I can for the kids. I don't care what it is.
It happens so organically when you're passionate about it.
Correct.
And your heart's in the right place.
Exactly. So like even this weekend, I got 10 guys. I'm taking down to Penn State. Because I know some guys down there on that coaching staff. One coached me at West Virginia, and another one I played arena ball with. I'm taking 10 kids down there at Penn State. I tell these guys, ain't too many coaches in Lehigh Valley doing that. On Saturday, we got to leave the school at 6 a.m. We're getting in a van and driving down to Penn State just to watch these guys practice and then turn right back around 2.5 hours and come right back to the Lehigh Valley. I'm like, ain't a lot of people doing that.
No.
So I don't ever sit there and brag about what I do for the kids and what I do for the community. I always just let them know, like, you should be appreciative of it because there ain't too many people doing that. That's just how it's going to be. And I said that's why a lot of these schools have the losing culture because they don't do whatever it takes. Like that's my motto. I'm going to do whatever it takes for whatever these kids need. Period.
Some coaches want to do the bare minimum.
Correct.
I think they're going to get that.
And you think they're going to get
end
out
result,
of
right?
Correct.
And it's
because if you do the bare minimum, the kids are going to do the bare minimum. That's just how it's going to be. Like I said, you got to show them, and that's what these kids want to see. They want to see you back that up. Say, oh, he been to West Virginia. Okay, well then take us down there and show us that you got them connections and show us that is real. And then I've done that. You know what I mean?
A kid will try to pull your card all day. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it happens all the time, and I shut it down. I'm like, here you go, let's do it. I showed them messages from coaches and all this other stuff, man. I said, listen, I know people. I got connections, but you guys got to do your part too.
You gotta
Like
do your part.
it can't just always be on me. I can make the drive to Penn State, but what are you going to do with your GPA to go to Penn State?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all that stuff plays its part, man. Like I said, I don't ever sit up in here or sit up anywhere and brag about what I do. A lot of people know me in the Lehigh Valley. You know, I embrace whatever comes my way, man. I'm appreciative that executive picked me to be the head coach for the football team when they could have picked anybody. I mean,
yeah.
they had a lot of good candidates go out for that, and a lot of guys with a lot of experience, and I had zero experience. So I'm appreciative of that, man. I'm appreciative of my kids at the school and for football. I even now, it's funny because I'm all over the place. So now I'm doing girls flag football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
You have that at the school?
correct. So
that's dope.
so our cheerleading squad pressured me to do powder puff for them. So we did that. You know, I started practicing with them, and then we did a little powder puff scrimmage against each other in the new field house that we have. So then they're like, "Yo, we trying to take this outside the school," and I'm like, "Yo, y'all trying to kill me? Like I'm already doing too much." So, so then I hit up Millie. Because he have his little We Different league this year.
right.
So I hit him up, put my girls in there, and now they're in the league, and now we're making it official because that's what they wanted. So I was like, hey, whatever
What
y'all
ages?
want. We're doing 17U.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had to split the teams because we had too many girls. We had way too many come out. So we had to split into two teams, but they know why we had to split because we had a lot of girls, and that's another thing now that's added onto my plate to show them that I care. You know, that I'll do whatever because now I'm doing varsity football, spring ball now that goes into June, and then now I got that on my plate with them playing on Sundays and having to practice them twice a week, and then working at the school and all that stuff, man. So like I said, it's all for the kids. I don't care about nothing else. You know, staying busy is key.
We should be lucky that we got you. You know, you fit us in the schedule.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, hell yeah. Hey, listen, man. When you hit me up, I didn't hesitate. Obviously, man.
100%.
Like I said, it's a lot to talk about, man. It's a lot people need to hear about executive and not just assume what goes on and what goes down there. So they actually need to hear it for themselves and hear what we do and how we roll with kids and stuff like that, and what we do with our programs. Because I feel sometimes we're unappreciated. But I don't even care too much about it, to be honest with you, because like I tell them everything I'm here for the kids. I don't really care about anything else.
I think a lot of it is the fear of the unknown.
Correct.
You know, when it first happened, people didn't know how it was going to
I didn't
play
even
out,
know.
right? And then again, the whole recruiting part. A lot of people feel, oh, they're going to steal our kids and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, man, these kids are going to go where they want to go.
They're going to go where they want to go.
The parents' decision.
And that's who it is. It's the parents.
Yeah.
You know, the kids don't make the final decision anymore.
100%.
You know what I mean? The parents make the final decision. So they take their kid where they feel like their kid's going to be successful. If you think your kid, where you think your kid gonna go to college, that's where you need to go. Where you think your kid's gonna get in academics, that's where you need to go. Where you think your kid's gonna win. A lot of these kids want to win football games.
Oh yeah, 100%.
A lot of the parents are passionate about winning football games, man. They don't want to keep going, 1-9 and 0-10 and all that stuff.
2-8.
Yeah, 2-8 every year. Kids don't like that, man. Parents don't like it. They want to see their kids be successful. So I'm all, like I said, I'm all for whatever it is, man. I'm going to do what I got to do with my kids at the school. I don't care who we get, to be honest with you, and who comes to the school. I just do what I do for the ones that's there.
Yeah. So do you go to a lot of like coaches clinics?
So actually, that was my first coaching clinic that I went to, the Nike clinic. Yeah. And, that was actually a great time. At first, I didn't want to go because we had a break for school, and that was like a 4-day weekend. And I was actually about to go back down to South Carolina because I haven't seen my family in a while. But when they were like, "Oh, we signed you up," and I'm like, "Are you serious?" I was about to book this flight and get up out of here. So then, like I said, I was mad at first, but then once I got there and met all those people and all the coaches and stuff like that, man, I was like, man, I'm glad I actually went to this thing.
Yeah, Bobby does a good thing down there.
Yeah, I built a lot of, and I know Bobby too, and built a lot of relationships, got a lot of contacts from a lot of the coaches down there too, man. So So it definitely was a good experience, but definitely looking to get into more of the clinics and stuff like that. It's just I'll be all over the place, man. I don't be having time to do some of that stuff sometimes.
I tricked Tony a couple weeks ago. I told him we were going on a fishing trip in Georgia. He hopped in the car and we actually went to a coach's clinic.
Oh, man. That's a bad joke. They ain't that bad.
I like the coaches' clinics because, you look at it a different aspect. And I'm like, learning X's and O's is it's like second nature to me. I learn so quick when it comes to football, but it's just learning from other people and then putting that into my own plan and practice plans when I do in my individuals with my running backs and stuff. So I just love going to coach clinics because you see a different aspect of everything.
You do, and it makes it even better when they do this, same stuff that you do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's one of the things is when we were at Georgia, their running backs coach. I was like, ask him about pregame. Like, what's a good thing to do for pregame? And he asked what I do. And I told him I just work on ball security, footwork, and then pass pro. It's real quick, 10 minutes.
Yep.
Quick, go. And he's like, listen, that's all we're going to do.
Yep.
Just when you're doing those three things,
that's it.
That's all you got to do.
That's it, man.
And I was like, I felt good. Like, okay, like
Me too.
actually I'm doing something right.
Correct. and last weekend or 2 weekends ago, I took some of the guys down to Lehigh University, and I built a really good relationship with their defensive line coach down there, and we actually got to sit in the meetings and watch some of their spring ball practices and things like that. And I'm like, man, this dude, he operates like I do. Like it's the same exact. I'm like watching my twin right now, as he's sitting in this film room, like he's letting his players know what's up. Like he's like, this was bad. This was bad. Like he ain't in there, praising them up. These college kids, you know what I mean? He's telling them what they're doing wrong and
100%.
how they need to fix it and all that stuff. So it was definitely good to go down there too and see how those guys practice and how they did things. And I think it'll be even bigger experience and better experience to go check out Penn State on Saturday too. I can't wait.
I went to the Penn State coaches clinic last year.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good stuff.
Some good coaches down there. I took some of the guys down there last year for a little camp thing, so that was nice. But now we're just gonna go down there Saturday, watch those guys practice, see how they do it, because that's what the guys need to see.
Yeah,
I'm like, y'all think this is hard? Like, wait till you go see.
Till you go that next
level.
level.
You go see Penn State and see how them dudes are out there running full speed and not walking off the field and all that other stuff.
And that's a big thing that we picked up right away is in Georgia, they were no one walking around.
Yeah.
If after that play, you're running back into the huddle.
Those practices are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Those practices.
It's
you
insane,
talk about
man.
the coaches, too. Kirby Smart was talking cash shit to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't play, man.
So,
they don't hold nothing back. So that's all we're trying to build, man, here at Executive and obviously in the Lehigh Valley. And I think it doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm going to still, be the same person. That's just how it's going to be. Like, I even heard I hear a lot of stories about a lot of schools in the Lehigh Valley. And, I've heard one story of, coach being scared to run his players and condition them because he's afraid they're going to quit. And I'm like, well, if they quit, they quit, man. Like, how you going to get in shape and play a football game if you can't condition and get in shape, you know? So all that stuff, man, you just got to, take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, once the kids get bought in and all that stuff, you ain't got to worry about them quitting.
Yeah, they're going to do what
it is what
you
it
want
is.
them. Yeah.
So they'll run through a wall for you. That's what I always tell my guys. Run through the wall, man. That's all you got to do. And you do that, I'll do whatever you want me to do for you, period.
No, 100%.
So, that's it.
So what sparked this little local high school podcast was a little discussion on Facebook about like the recruiting or lack thereof of the Valley and the process and, what steps guys should be taking. You got any advice or, your experiences on like the recruiting from high school to get to college?
So the kids definitely need to be going to camps. Get them, seen in front of college coaches as much as they possibly can, whether it's camps, whether it's practices, whether it's 7-on-7s. Whatever we got to do to get them in front of college coaches, that's what we got to do. So that, and obviously, I think other schools probably do it in the Lehigh Valley, but, when we get a lot of kids who transfer in, the one thing I always ask them, I say, did your school, your coach did study hall for you guys? Some of the kids didn't even know what study hall was. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to show you. So we're going to get these grades, and that way you can get recruited and go to college and go play play some football. So that's one thing I do to make sure they stay locked in with their academics. We do study hall twice a week, and that is mandatory for everybody. I don't care if you got
good.
A's and B's. Like, everybody has to participate in that. And then, like I said, getting the coaches to come to the school, which we're getting better at now. First year, second year, a little bit, but once we won districts, like, everybody started coming beating down the door, which kind of helped us out a lot.
And I've seen, a lot of your players are going to college now. And
Correct.
that was a big thing. A lot of people were like, program's just starting.
Yep.
Kids, they're not going to get the looks right.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was one of those ones too.
I feel you.
Not sure of what's going to happen.
I got you.
And, it's commendable, and I take my hat off to you, what you're doing over there, because these kids are going to school, man, and that's awesome, bro.
That's all it is. That's all it's about. Everybody always talking about want to go D1 and all that stuff, and I'm like, it's not about D1. It's about going to college. And, we got a couple D3 guys that's still there, locked in. This year now, we got Jonas is going to Del Val, one of the top D3 schools in the state of Pennsylvania. Damon is our first Division II signee in school history, so we made a big deal out of that.
My youngin', that's my youngin' right there.
Going to Bloomsburg.
Shout out the Bug.
And then we have Chris Cruz, who committed to he committed to Eastern.
Eastern, yeah, I've seen that.
So that and then Deshaun Shaw, I think he's going to end up going to Eastern too as well, but right now he's just unsure what direction he wants to take. But yeah. Those are the only. We had 8 kids graduated. 2 of them are trying to go to like one school that not playing football and whatnot, and the other 2 are like just getting jobs and things like that. Yeah. So, but to get 4 out of 8 in college, and then last year we had 7 out of that crew. I think it was like 14 last year, and then we ended up getting 7 out of that crew going to play college ball. It's always great, man, to see that. And,
that's dope.
Try to get to the games. Kevin King is right at Moravian. He had a big freshman year this year. Went to a couple of his games because obviously it's close.
Right there. Yeah.
And then we had Jameek Roman down at Lycoming and Anthony Roman at Alvernia. So we got the guys out there, man. These guys getting to where they need to be. So long as they get to college, that's all that matters. I don't care what division it is, to be honest with you.
100%.
So,
and that's one of the biggest misconceptions, too, is, D1. I want to go D1.
Yeah.
It's like, no, listen, if you go to school, you're going to school.
That's it,
and you're
man.
getting education, man.
Yep, because some of these kids at these schools aren't even getting nothing. Like, you could be a top player at some of these schools, and you're not even getting looked at just from either the culture of the program or just the not winning. You know what I mean? College coaches want to see winning. They want to see winning programs. They want to see that culture in that program. Nobody wants to go to a school where you're going 0 and 10 or whatever,
or
2 and 8. Correct.
Yep.
Because I had one parent complain to me from another school, that her son was one of the top players at the school and didn't get a single look.
Wow.
Not even a D3 look. So. I take pride in it. I don't really care, like I said, what division it is. I take pride in getting these guys out of here, man, and being able to help them. Obviously they do the most of the work, but to be able to help those guys get to where they need to be so they can go play some college ball.
No, and the key part is giving them that blueprint, right?
Correct.
All right, listen, this is first, you got to focus on these grades, right? These grades got to be top notch if you want to go to school.
Correct.
And then, the work ethic got to come from them.
Yep.
I can take you to the water. I can't make you drink it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
And that's the one thing I don't worry about with my guys is the work ethic. Because I don't play when it comes to that stuff. Like I said, man, you don't come in here and you grind, you go home. Come back the next day and show me you want it more than you did the day before. So it is what it is. But everybody grinds. That's just you guys should come check out our weight room. We have a great strength coach with Coach Lori. She's absolutely amazing. She was a strength coach at Moravian, and I was a little iffy when she first came to executive because she was a female.
Because she's a female,
and that's like my sister. I told her straight up to her face, she was the reason why we won district championship year 2.
Yeah,
because just what she did with the guys in the weight room. getting them bought into her style. She's like a mini me, pretty much. Like, she'll get on the boys and she don't really care. She'll kick you out of her weight room, all that stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
She runs a tight ship, and I sit back and I just watch it all. Don't come to me. Like, this her show. I'm just here. Like, kids have questions, even though I know a lot of the stuff that goes on in the weight room and stuff like that. I send them right to her, man, because she's top notch, dude. So I think that's another reason why we've been so successful. Is just a weight room program.
Any program, listen, man.
Correct.
If you're doing it right in the weight room, you're going to win football games.
Exactly. Yeah. And she's one of the best, probably, if not one of the best in the Lehigh Valley. I'm not just saying that just to say it, man. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she puts the work in, for sure.
That's dope.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Listen, man, this is good. This is educational.
For sure.
A lot of people, like I've said this multiple times today, it's just like the fear of the unknown with executive.
Correct.
A lot of people don't know what you're going to get.
Yep.
They hear a lot of rumors and the speculations, and hearing what you're doing there is amazing.
Appreciate it, man.
Keep doing it.
Yep.
The program's only going to get better.
That's it.
Right? It's fourth year, right? This is what you're
going into fourth.
That's big, winning districts the second year. That's huge.
It's unheard of.
That's huge.
And it happened. So,
and it made an immediate impact out here.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
And they beat Caddy too. And Caddy's
been
here for 100-some years,
Correct.
right? So it's not like you'd beat a mediocre team.
Exactly. And then after, the Caddy game, we played the number one team in 2A in the state of Pennsylvania and blew them out.
Yeah.
So it was like 42-17. They had two D1 players on that team. They had a tight end who I think committed to Maryland, and then their quarterback was probably the best quarterback or second best quarterback in the state of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And we went down there and ran them off the field. So it's all about, getting these kids bought into the system. I think that year, honestly, we probably could have won a state championship if, things played out the way it should have played out. And that's pretty much what I'll say about that. But if the chips fall in the right places, man, we should have definitely won a state championship that year because we had every piece of the board that year, from quarterback to kicker.
No, and that's what it is, man. A lot of people think, I got 3-4 good players. Nah, it's 11.
Correct.
Right? You need 11 on that field to play and win every down.
Takes a lot. And we got that this year too. So like I said, we're getting rolling right now, man. This week we started spring ball on Tuesday, and I know a lot of schools in Lehigh Valley didn't even start yet. So we're getting a jump, getting these guys ready. We've been in the weight room since the season ended. I gave those guys a week off, and we were right back in it.
We had a week off, and
correct.
We were back at it.
So I was like, there ain't no downtime, man. And then the good thing about it is that when we went back to it, man, we had 25 kids. Like, it wasn't no 6-7 kids that was like, I'm just going to go get a workout. And nah, this is unmandatory workouts, and you got 25, 30 kids up in there, which is amazing because they're bought into it. So, so that always helped us out, man. The weight room aspect of it and getting a jump on it, because easily we could have been like, all right, you just wait till spring ball and then we get back in the weight room. But nah, them boys is like, when we going back, coach? When we get in the weight room? Right now. Let's go.
Let's
go.
What I mean?
Yeah. So we even go in sometimes on the weekends. Like I said, I work out with them all the time. So, man, as long as they see it and they see their coaches grinding and working hard, man, it makes them work hard. And then, you have a winning program. So
if you see Joshua Amos Abani, get his ass on the football field, man.
Who's that?
That's my nephew.
I know exactly. Basketball player. I only play basketball.
I know.
That's him.
I know.
I already tried. And
I try to tell my sister they're not having it, man.
I know.
They need to realize it.
And he was a good football player, too. It's not like he was a slouch.
He was a good defensive lineman. I try to tell him, bro, if you're going to be 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", you're going to be small on the basketball court, bro.
Correct. And he's a big boy.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, you could be a fucking DN at that size. You'd be a good size.
Yeah, I'll get him one of these days. When he get out that mentality of just being a basketball player, I'll get him out of there. I'll get him out there.
Word.
Yeah, but we like I said, we try to, affiliate with them and try to get some of these guys out there. But, you can lead them to the water, like you said, but you can't make them drink. But the good thing is that we're getting actually kids coming out and wanting to be a part of it, and that's the biggest thing for me is when kids say they want to be a part of my program because they see us doing things the right way. They see that I care about their academics. They see that I care about them outside of football because that's the biggest thing.
That's the big part.
If you care about them outside of football, you're giving them rides home and all this other stuff late at night. One year I used to drive after the games, get back 3 hours later. One year, I used to have to take a kid all the way to Easton after the games, 2:00 in the morning. You know what I mean? So just showing kids that little, aspect of it. Like, he driving all the way to Easton, got to come all the way back to Bethlehem just where he lives. Like, dang, that's dedication. Like, that's somebody who cares about you. So yeah, man, just trying to, let these kids know what it is when it comes to that stuff, man, and let them know we care, let them know we're there for them. And like I said, they'll run through a wall for you for sure. So
that's what's up, man. The city need that, man.
Yeah,
the city
man.
need that. Shake shit up for the culture. Like I said, for those kids, the city, the area. Well, Lehigh Valley really needs that.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really need that.
Yep. And I don't know.
And it's like a new era now. Like you said with the parents and stuff, it's
Yeah.
a new era.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So they looking for different shit.
Correct.
They're not just going to stay at a school because it has like some kind of old tradition or some shit like that, just because they live in that area. Now, they're going to find a way to get their son to a better, environment.
They do. And that's big, like too, is the environment, man. You want your kid to be safe. And I'll tell you right now, Executive is one of the safest schools in Lehigh Valley because we lock that thing down, man.
Yeah.
Nothing happens, when it comes to that type of stuff, man. You don't hear kids bringing knives and guns and all that stuff, all that extra stuff.
My older son went to Executive for, he went to Catholic school until like 4th grade, and then he went to Executive till 7th. And I liked what they did with him is when he would get in trouble, he would have to sit up in front of his whole class.
Oh, yeah.
Not just his class, like the whole 7th
assembly.
grade.
Yep.
And talk about what he did wrong
Correct.
and what he's going to do to fix that.
Oh, yeah.
And his little ass needed that.
Yeah. We still do that. So we call it taking ownership. So, the kids will go up to the front of the podium. They'll speak to the masses and, say, today I got redirected for chewing gum or something like that. And we actually have the kids give them feedback.
Yeah.
So we'll have the kids raise their hand and we're like, give him some feedback of why he shouldn't be chewing gum. So kids will raise their hand and they'll give him the riot act.
Light them up.
Around here, we don't chew gum. As the forest said, not to chew gum. We ain't chewing no gum. So that's definitely one thing that makes our school very unique, man, when it comes to that, because it's making the kids take ownership. It's making them say what they did wrong, and taking ownership for it. So I like that aspect of it too, for sure.
Are they still making them take Mandarin?
I don't know about elementary when it comes to that, but because I'm in middle school, so I don't really know too much about.
I know at one point he had to take Mandarin.
Oh yeah,
because it was like the international language of business.
Okay, not in middle school. So we got French, we got media arts, we got art gym, and business.
Okay.
So
business is good.
Yeah, so that's our 5 specials that we have up in middle school, but I don't know what they really have down in elementary, to be honest with you. Yeah,
that's dope, man.
Yeah, but they did used to have Mandarin, but I don't know about if they have it anymore. So
yeah, I know he used to take that. I was like, yo, bro, I can't help you with this.
Oh
shit.
nah,
You better go ask your teacher.
I mean, see, some of these kids still don't be knowing, the Spanish that we be teaching at school, man. A lot of these go, I'm fluent, and they still be having C's and D's. And I'm like, this is a totally different Spanish.
It's different when you got to write it, right?
Correct. This is a different Spanish, man. I don't know what you guys talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what we're trying to do, man. I tell my final remark. If you guys don't have any more questions, my final remark is: if you in doubt, just come see it. Come see it for yourself, man. It's like Disney World. Everybody, you don't know how Disney World's going to be until you go down there and visit it, right?
Yeah.
So anytime anybody wants to, come check the school out, they know what to do. Go right to the main office, get there with Johnny T. He'll get you on a tour and come see what the school's about, man. And that's what it's all about. Just come on that tour, and we'll make a believer out of you.
Right.
So that's pretty much what it is.
Y'all better start stepping it up. They got a damn state-of-the-art basketball facility over there about to get a dome. Y'all better step it up out here.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up, though, man.
For sure.
Congratulations on everything.
I appreciate it, man.
Congratulations.
I appreciate you guys having me too, man. This was definitely good, and like I said, people need to hear it, man. They need to hear that charter schools aren't bad. It's not a bad thing, man. It can help your kids in so many ways, not just athletics. Like I said, I don't ever put athletics first. I don't care about athletics. It's just the academic part of it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Your kids are gonna come there, and when they're gonna see that we care about their grades. You're not gonna be at this school if we don't care about your grades.
And the thing is, you're not gonna play sports forever.
Correct.
Right? But you're gonna have to
hard
work.
on him. I'm hard on him. He knows his son's in my community. His son's in my community, and I even had to get on him a couple times with his grades. I texted him immediately because I have a lot of parents in my phone, speed dial. But what you failing? Oh, there you go, Mom. He got an F. Come holler at him real quick, So that always helps, man. And then they get those grades right, and then we did our part. So that's all it is, man.
That's dope, man. Well, thank you for coming on, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
This platform,
great story, everything like that.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Appreciate it.
This platform, we like to shed light on the local scenery, high school sports, not just football, basketball. We had a wrestling one that was very educational. So, we're going to keep this buck going, man. And, hopefully we have you back soon. All right,
man. Hopefully it's after a state championship.
Yeah, word. Good luck to y'all, man.
Let's go, man.
All right.
All right, everybody.
It.
God bless. God bless. Good night.
It's only entertainment.